Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Counselor's Office. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor, and we are back with another Counselor Reacts. It's been a hot minute since we have dived into Halo. There's been a lot of wildfires going on, and I think I'm going to be probably doing like multiple videos, but I want to watch this video, which kind of sums up some of the issues that I have seen pop up in the Halo community. And I just kind of want to get someone else's point of view to kind of really understand what the heck is going on. So let's just dive in and let's see what it's all about. By the way, little LB Bubba, the link will be down below for you guys to check the video yourself.
And the ridiculousness that is 343 Industries' resentment to the original Halo creators and their no Bungie rule. Well, now, with hardly any break, a new development has come forth, shedding even...
A new foe has appeared, Challenger 343. Listen, I do not like 343 Industries. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a fan of them. I think they're a dumpster fire company. I truly believe that Bungie was the lifeblood of Halo. And I'm going to say right now, I think Halo Infinite has a great foundation, but that's because you can literally just copy someone's work, which is Bungie. But they somehow ruined it. Like, I absolutely hate most of the gun models in the game. Like, they changed the shotgun, the most iconic shotgun, and they changed it to the garbage that is the Bulldog. The sidekick is garbage. Like, you literally, granted, Bungie's also killed it in Halo 2, but they brought it back in Halo 3 in an iconic look. Not the same feel as CE, obviously, it was overpowered. But the general is, like, there's obviously some nostalgia purposes, and they want to do their own thing, which, in my personal opinion, you're better off just making a different game. Don't butcher what people like already.
Even more light on 343's awful mismanagement. Before reading the post, I would like to mention that there's no need for me to censor his name. This person shared their opinion on a public platform, fully aware that it can be seen by anyone. And
right, I honestly don't think I could work on a game that glorifies or fantasizes modern guns. COD, Battlefield, RB6. I've had moments of struggle with Halo, but the weapons and world's pretty sci-fi, which creates a large enough separation from reality. Glorifies and fantasizes modern guns. I don't know who has access to grenade launchers or dual wielding, who are running around dual wielding pistols or having, you know, dressing up as a Snoop Dogg and going around with illegal guns that most people don't have access to unless you're hitting the black market or you're part of the military. Like, it's just, I'm beyond flabbergasted. You are in the wrong line of work. Go become a developer for Roblox, if that's your thought of logic right here.
fans deserve to know that.
By the way, this is someone working on Halo. That's reassuring.
People involved in the development of their favorite games. Plus, this person's name can easily be discovered as many people have shown screenshots of his post. The post, which is from last year, had gone unnoticed until recently.
Yeah, why is it just now suddenly coming up? Nick the Prick. Why is Nick the Prick
as important as it was when he originally posted it? It comes from a 343 dev who is a producer on Halo and who has also worked on Halo Infinite, and it reads as follows.
Well, that might explain why some of the guns look like Garbo. Oh, can't use it. Looks too realistic. I can't have these guns around. No, we can't do that.
I honestly don't think I could work on a game that glorifies or fantasizes modern guns. Call of Duty, Battlefield, Rainbow Six. I've had moments I've struggled with Halo, but the weapons and world is pretty sci-fi, which creates a large enough separation from reality.
Don't work at the game.
Very alarming,
go away.
And I'll get into why in just a moment. But
no, I can tell you why it's alarming. If it goes against your moral beliefs, and that's fine. If you think it's a moral belief, you have a right to that. But it is, you are literally saying it's hard for me to separate it with the game that I am helping make. You need to leave because your morals are going to impact the quality, which we've seen the quality of Halo Infinite is a dumpster fire. You don't belong in the game. Like, or your hand does not belong in the pot of making the game. You need to leave. Go play Roblox, go play Farmville, go play Minecraft or Hello Kitty, whatever it is. If whatever it is, respect. It is your morals, but I can't take it serious if you're putting yourself in a genre that is literally called first person shooter. You are stupid. You're mentally challenged, not mentally handicapped. Mentally handicapped people have an excuse. It's something out of their control. But people who are mentally challenged literally handicap themselves. They have the intelligence, but they refuse to use it, not because they can't, because they choose not to.
Let me be clear that I'm not trying to bash this person or incite any form of harassment towards them. Any sense of singling them out is simply a result of the situation at hand. This person...
I mean, I'll be honest. I would kindly tell them to please leave the game. Leave the game alone. Please. If your beliefs, I respect your beliefs. You are entitled to your beliefs. But if you feel like you cannot separate your beliefs while you are making the game, then please leave.
Holds a significant role at 343 Industries, and it highlights the questionable
FPS,
hiring practices at 343. Since their post raises red flags, it's important to address it, and I encourage others to do the same. I understand if some people are hesitant to engage in conversations around this, and I think we all know the reasons why they would be. However, many people did speak up about it. The post went viral and was too serious to ignore. Let's go over the popular response.
10 mil views now, considering quotes and post a screenshot.
Chronologically. Haley was the first to quote this
Who's Haley?
dev's post. Let's read what she had to say about it.
Okay.
Unbelievable. This is the current producer on Halo. Why is he allowed to work on it?
Exactly. That's my immediate thought is why is this person who's battling this moral dilemma having any say or input in a game that is literally a first-person shooter?
You can't differentiate between fiction and reality and get upset by guns in video games and view shooter games, including Halo, as celebrations of firearms, then you have mental issues and shouldn't be involved in developing a shooter game.
Again, he is mentally challenged, not handicapped. Handicaps, people who have mental disabilities and who are handicapped, they don't choose it. But people who are mentally challenged, like this person, literally turn their brain off.
Let alone be the producer of one. This isn't fair on the fans, who deserve quality games made by competent people that enjoy working on the games that fans...
Not even fans, consumers. Let's be honest. When you buy a car, you don't want someone's morality like, oh, you know what? You go out and you buy like a truck. Someone doesn't like trucks because it's bad on gas. It's hurting the environment. And you can have that opinion. That's absolutely justified. You can have your opinion. You can have that. And I say justified before I make people upset. It's their opinion. They can have that opinion. You don't. Yeah. But what doesn't make sense is if you think that trucks are dangerous to the environment, then you should not be the person that's helping make the trucks, especially if they're gas-powered trucks. One thing, if you join up and you try to work on like electric cars, groovy. You're fighting for your morals. But if your morals are gas trucks are bad, then you shouldn't be working for a truck company. Hello, ding 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 ding.
Love. Would you want someone who admits they struggled with Halo to continue working on Halo?
Exactly.
Haley makes some very good points here. It's important to have people working on the game who are dedicated and excited about their work and who can...
And that's a key thing. I think that he makes a valid point. People who are passionate. That's the thing that is missing from Halo. There is no passion in Halo Infinite. It is empty husk. There is no passion. You know where you find passion? Here's where you find passion in Halo Infinite. The numerous amount of community-made maps. People like to tote, even Microsoft's, there's so like 80-something maps. But like over 50% of those maps are made by the community. The passion is in the community who is desperately trying to keep this game on life support, where 343 is out there sticking the needle in the veins, trying to suck the lifeblood out of the community and trying to get as much cash as they can out of the store.
Effectively manage.
There is no passion. There's more passion put into the armors for sale than there is for the game.
Any challenges that may arise. Team leaders especially should be motivated, inspiring, and enthusiastic about the game they're involved in. It's essential to have people who genuinely love and are committed to the game, not only for the fans, but also for the teams responsible for bringing the game to life.
And that's a key thing, team morale, being loving what you do. If you are in a position and you are doing, even like a job, like my rule in life is I don't do anything that I don't enjoy or love. I always told myself, I'm not going to be like my friends in high school who were slaving. And I mean, they literally, they were on their own. They had to pay bills and they slaved away. They were miserable, causing multiple health issues. It happens even today with people, right? It's not like, oh, it's just back when I was a kid, this happened. This is ongoing even now. You need to find a job that you can enjoy. And then hopefully you lead into yourself a career that you love. And I'm going to be honest, if people who are making Halo see this as a job and not a passionate career, then they should not be making the game. If you're not willing to do something that you love, which includes Halo, then you should not be a part of it. Bottom dollar.
However,
if you're thinking, oh, this is my way of putting my foot in the door and getting some things on my resume, I'm working on the legendary game Halo. I'll put my foot in there and put my ideas and I'll really make some bank. Please leave the game alone. You are the only kind of resume you're building is why people should not hire you or have anything to do with you.
if you have someone who struggles with Halo working on Halo, then its development will struggle, plain and simple.
Which is what we expected from Halo Infinite.
Coping with the very game they're working on is going to have a negative impact on its development. You can't expect a developer to work at their best and fulfill their responsibilities properly if they don't even enjoy the core aspect of the game.
Exactly.
Haley goes on to say, if a game upsets you and you know your mental issues are negatively impacting your productivity, you should avoid working on that game out of respect for the franchise and its fans.
If you don't have the passion, leave it alone. It's simple. But again, people who have this mindset, they're doing it only for the fame, the ticket on the resume. Oop, I worked on this game. You should hire me.
As well as the company that owns it. Just another example of how stupid 343 is and shows their awful approach to Halo's development. They refuse to hire the original creators of Halo, but want to keep people like
Wait,
this.
that's true? What?
I know it sounds harsh, but
I'm going to be honest. I knew I heard buzz, but is that actually confirmed that they refuse to hire original people? Because I think if people from Bungie who originally worked on the original game, they need to be in the game, like helping make the game. I'm sorry. 343 needs the lifeblood back. Those who are passionate about the game, not the dumpster fire team they have now.
a company should do what's right for the business and the consumer. Microsoft shouldn't be tolerating this. This is Halo we're talking about here. I've noticed that many people who share similar opinions regarding games often decorate their profiles with flags or a list of mental illnesses. Why is that? Genuinely curious.
Okay, so I will say I agree to the extent that usually people that have bad opinions that should not be playing video games definitely do have flags. The mental illnesses is obviously attached to this gender, sexual ideology. I don't care about none of that. I mean, as long as that crap, and I say crap in the argument basis, if what you believe and live how you want to live, that's my basis. I don't care how you live. But if you try to interject that crap into my game where it doesn't belong, I don't want to see it. Like, I'm going to be 100. I did not like Halo 4's ending because they took what was not a real romantic relationship between it was a platonic relationship between Master Chief and Cortana, whereas 4 really turned it into like this weird romantic, and then Halo 5 turned this into this weird obsessed ex-girlfriend kind of vibe with Cortana and Master Chief. Like, that crap needs to stay away, right? And I think in the context of the game, there should be no like lovey-dovey relationship because no one gives a crap about. No one wants romance in this first-person shooter game. It works for some games. This is not the game for that. And so if you're trying to interject that crap, I don't like it. And in this case, it was this weird AI cyborg love in Halo 4 and 5 that I just could not get behind. It's really freaking weird. And then Infinite tries to fix all that. It's still freaking weird. So I don't care about the whole mental illness thing. I do care about like the flags, like they're representing, like they care, but they don't really care. Most gaming companies don't care about affiliations. It's another ticket off of their inclusion. Like, hey, we're being inclusionary. Boop. Give us money. Okay.
Make of the last part.
I'm not going to talk much about it. I keep seeing people make these kind of comments, and like, I don't care as long as it's not in the game, you live how you want to live. I just want to make that known.
What you will. She makes some excellent points in her post and some very compelling arguments. So Haley's post was getting a lot of attention fairly quickly and started blowing up with likes. Soon after, another user named Savvy joined in and also quoted Nick. And before you knew it, the
hold on, who's Savvy? You're spewing out names, and I don't know who these people are.
Haley's post was getting a lot of attention fairly quickly.
I think it's fair to really analyze who we're focusing on.
Savvy.
All right, Savvy artist, creative specialist, commission closed, biology degree, actually allergic to the sun and onions. So creative specialist. So I'm assuming they're just an artist, and they're just an artist. Okay. I mean, it says it in their name, but I was just making sure if they have worked actually in video games or they have some like actual insight. It's obvious that they are pretty popular, 20K followers. I continue.
Joined in and also quoted Nick, and before you knew it, the whole thing went viral beyond just the Halo community. Nick's post was getting flooded with replies and quotes, with many people telling him to step down or saying he shouldn't be involved in the game.
I think that's fair. I think if you're going to put something like that out, I think it's a fair assessment that the community who loves Halo has every right to voice their concerns, considering the dog crap that they've been getting. I'm saying that nicely, but yeah.
Venting their frustrations about the current state
also, shout out to the Halo 3 footage
of Halo and directing their anger towards 343. Let's take a look at what Savvy said. A producer for Halo can't separate fiction and reality.
And that is a scary thought. I'm going to be honest. If that goes to the whole argument of video games cause violence, which has been proven wrong statistically. People who have especially someone who has a master's degree in psychology, people who are predisposed to violence, or people who would have already done something like mass shooting, they would have done that regardless if they played a first-person shooter. They just might be more aggressive than other people after playing it, because that's the thing. Like, first-person, shooter cause violence. And to a certain degree, yes, you see people get tilted and rage. You might see a spike, but not to the degree of, I'm going to go kill someone. That's a fallacy that has been proven incorrect. So the fact that we have someone that kind of lives in that ideology that they can't separate fiction and reality is scary. Like there is someone who has, maybe they do have a mental illness. If they see making a video game as a indication that they support violence in the real world.
He's fine with murder, you just can't do it with a modern gun. People working on video games, these type who are overly sensitive, who choose to virtue signal, who can't just tell a story without a direct parallel to some modern day problem. How are you working for Halo and struggling with the depiction of guns? Perhaps it would
have you seen some of the guns in Halo Infinite? Literally, some of them are garbage.
Be healthier for all parties if you went and worked on something more akin to a farming sim. You also
I said Farmville! What? Yes, exactly. There it is.
Have issues with knives, cars, and coconuts? Those are involved in the unaliving process.
That's true.
Or is it just the modern guns? What makes a modern gun? Anyway, this guy is part of the censorship crowd because if it was up to him, he wouldn't let someone depict a modern gun. The gun is not sentient. Mental health is the problem. Any sick person who takes another life, regardless of tool, is a problem.
Amen. True. And And like I said, video games don't make people serial killers or do mass shootings. Someone already has mental issues and would have already done so regardless.
Okay, Savvy made a pretty thought-provoking post there. It's got some solid points in it and makes us question if Nick might also be sensitive to other themes in video games, like the depiction of murder and death. Is he also upset by these unpleasant themes, but just chose not to mention that? Who knows? Halo heavily features warfare and violence. Maybe guns weren't the only thing he was struggling with.
True.
Other objects and concepts related to violence exist in the Halo universe, but where do you draw the line? At what point do you stop differentiating between those subjects and their real-world consequences? It makes you think. As she said though, I feel like it would be healthier all around for a developer like him to work on some other game instead.
Again, if he's struggling, and it sounds like he's struggling with his own morals, then he needs to leave. In fact, if I was Microsoft or the lead, if I was Microsoft and seeing this, I would say, okay, this person, obviously their morals are starting to clash with their job. We're going to ask you to work on something else.
Halo's got some serious mature stuff in it. If the themes he's currently dealing
No, there's no mature. If I remember correctly, didn't they lower things to make Infinite not mature? Before I BS out of my way, like I think Halo Infinite, ranking. Rating. Sorry, it's rating. ESRB. What I just want to see this. Teen. We went from a rated mature to a rated teen. That's the problem with Halo. That right there, that's the problem. We went from this actual solid, didn't give a crap, this rough alien slayer to teen. We're doing teen stuff. That's the problem with Halo.
Taking a toll on him and he can't bite the bullet, it's time for him to step away. As Nick's post started going viral, it became the main...
I guarantee it's people like that caused it to drop from mature. Like, oh, we can't do mature. No. Can't do that. Also, money. More people that can get involved, money. But still, I mean, Call of Duty is literally mature, and I still see 10-year-olds go to get their grandma to buy the game for them. Like,
main discussion in the Halo community. Mint Blitz, one of the biggest and most influential Halo content creators in the community.
All right, so he's an Australian. I've seen posts about him. I've never watched a single thing about him. I did see like a Facebook thing scrolling by. I seen the tagline, and he's doing like trick shots, and I was like, oh man. I remember seeing some trick shots that I used to do back in Halo CE, like the OG, like being able to flip the Warthog. Yeah, I used to do that all the time with friends, and it was great. And so I don't know why I've never watched one of his videos. Maybe I'll do that for fun. But I kind of know who he is.
Community posted this in agreement. If
he's gonna read it.
You don't like guns in video games, and it's that bad that it makes you uncomfortable, why work on a first-person military-themed shooter? I don't understand. That's perfectly aligned with what we've been discussing.
It's because these people have mental challenges. They're not mentally handicapped. They're mentally challenged. They literally turn their brain cells off. Like, turn it off.
But
and again, like I said, my biggest thought process is those people are doing it because they want a little check mark on their resume to like get that experience and like, hey, I worked on this legendary game. Now anyone will hire me. It's literally just for that.
The thing about this is that he posted it without directly quoting the producer, left out context, which confused people, and then deleted the post a few hours later. Someone managed to snag a screenshot of the post before it was deleted, to which he responded with his reason for deleting it being because there's a difference. Just a few hours
I want to see what that person said then.
Someone managed.
Why did Mint Blitz delete this? Bro, you shouldn't be protecting 343. Everyone needs to know what Halo producer at 343 said. Mint's post had a lot more views. I screenshot earlier.
Just snag a screenshot of the post before it was deleted, to which he responded with his reason for deleting it being because there's a difference between a civil debate and going after a single employee. That's a real person, and regardless of how much I dislike certain handlings of the Halo franchise, I'm not going to leave a tweet up when it starts to get far too toxic.
I think that is... So here's the thing. That person is entitled to an opinion. When you put that opinion out in space, you're going to get counter opinions. It's almost like, let's just put this in perspective. You bought yourself a Ford truck. I don't know models. Let's just say you bought a Ford truck, and then the owner or the creator of Ford comes out and says, man, I really don't like Ford trucks, or I don't like trucks. I hate that they're destroying the economy. You, as someone who is a consumer of that product, you're not going to be like, oh, this person that I bought, this leader, this creator, this developer of this product that I just purchased is talking about how they don't like it. That's concerning for me. Like, I'm going to doubt the authenticity of my product. Is it good? Did they put effort? Am I going to have wheels fall off because they didn't care about it? What should I expect? I'm not going to trust that person who actively says they don't like what they make. And I think it's very fair to call out anyone who is dumb enough to post something that is so stupid out in the public space. Those are like some dark thoughts that you battle with yourself, and then you make a resolution with yourself. But you are inviting. It is almost invitational when you put that opinion out there that people are going to counter that with, don't you work for a first-person shooter? Are you stupid? Like, I think it's what's toxic is that we have people who have no business in video games making video games. Or in this case, someone who obviously has morals that they want to stick to and respect to you, but it's very obvious that they are struggling with those morals and making a game that's counterproductive to those morals. That is toxic because it impacts the overall product, and it impacts what we as the consumer receive. It is not made from passion. You cannot say that this person who is struggling with their beliefs in making this game are passionate about the same game. That's not possible. I'm sorry. It's not possible. So I'm glad the community went after him. He deserved it. Listen, if the president, whether it be Biden or former President Trump, tweets something and people don't like it, they're going to say what they think about it, right? It's fair game.
Fear with speaking up here, just due to the nature of social media. I totally get not wanting to take it too far, but you don't have full control of that.
No.
Some people were already being toxic, and it's hard to stop that. But there were also many who were civil and
when we say toxic, I think people that are directly attacking this guy in like calling him like direct names, threatening him, trying to pressure him to quit in ways that are not healthy. Like, and saying that, hey, if you don't like this, you want to stick to your morals, then you should really leave, right? If you're not passionate about the game, please leave. But if you're telling someone to unalive themselves, or you're just I personally don't want to say anything that is derogatory, but insert something that's derogatory or something that's overly, like if they were gay or something, I don't know, but like insert that kind of cesspool toxicity that you and I see all the time on Twitter. That's not okay, right? Telling someone to unalive themselves or making it really personable, that's not okay. Saying that they're mentally challenged because they are literally going against their own morals and then trying to make a product, that doesn't make sense. And I think that's fair criticism. But if it goes beyond that, I truly believe it is toxic. But people complaining about what they said and saying, hey, you should not be making a first-person shooter then if your morals are against it, that is very, very valid feedback. That's not toxic.
express their opinions respectfully. You have to remember that this is a big deal, and given how bad the state of Halo has been over the last decade,
I remember that. I remember that she stepped down. Thank God. I'm so glad she stepped down. I wish more of the trash would take itself out.
And given how bad the state of
Yeah, Bonnie Ross, you won't be missed, you dumpster fire.
Halo has been over the last decade, it's only natural that emotions would flare up. Confrontation amounts to change, and just because there are back and forths, it doesn't mean it's not worth continuing. Sometimes you have to fight for what's right, and sometimes an understanding is all that's missing. You shouldn't just back out when conflict arises. Mint Blitz also made a video talking about this, and there was something he said in his video that caught my attention, which was,
as soon as you try to get your point across and it isn't respectful, the change you want to see happen goes right out the window. The person or the group who's been insulted just completely shuts down, and they'll use the very insult itself as a reason to stop change.
And I think that they'll use the very insult itself as a reason to stop change. Here's the thing. Here, he's absolutely correct. But here's the bottom dollar. If they weren't going to listen in the first place, then it didn't matter what you were going to say. You could be respectful to the bottom dollar. You can just say, hey, make a better game. And they would still find some reason to make you the bad guy. There's always going to be something that they're going to use against you. There's always going to be an excuse. It didn't matter. If they weren't going to listen to the feedback from the community in the first place, they never were. So whereas he's very true, he's also very wrong in the fact that they're going to find a reason, regardless if you insult at all. You could not insult and they're still going to use, like, just criticizing. Like, we have developers currently where people are getting valid feedback and giving criticism, and developers are using that as personal attacks. Well, they're attacking me. They're harassing me. Whereas it's just literally gamers giving valid reason, like, this needs to be fixed. This needs to be fixed. You need to try to do, why are we fixing this? Why are we not doing this? Like, actual valid feedback. And developers are using that and saying that's harassment. Again, they don't need an insult. Yes, you are giving them free ammunition when you insult them, but it doesn't matter if there was an insult or not. If they were never going to listen to you in the first place, they would have found a different excuse regardless.
While I agree that people should voice their opinions respectfully and avoid throwing insults, I can't help but find it strange that Remy thinks developers would use insults as a reason to stop changes that fans are requesting. That would be childish. No developer or creator in general should be doing that.
Exactly. They should not be doing that. They shouldn't be, but they do. And the reason why they do it is because they never were going to change. They are literally looking for any out possible because they have their own vision for the game. It's not about, and that's the problem with most modern day games for gamers, is it's not for the gamer. It's for the company. They have their vision, not what the vision of what the community would like, their vision. And that's why the new Halo sucks versus the old Halo. The old Halo was very for the gamer, by the gamer, have the community involved, whereas Halo Infinite is nothing more than an empty cash grab. It started as an empty cash grab, is evolved into nothing more than just a cash grab outside of a bunch of community-made maps. Like, how many times have they come out with a new weapon skin and people are like, man, that could have been a new gun you could have introduced. But it's like another variant of a gun that we already have.
Developers should always be open to making positive changes to the game, no matter how much criticism and heat they receive. If a developer can't handle criticism or insults and resorts to stubbornly ignoring feedback out of spite or committing to changes in retaliation, it shows a lack of mental strength and suitability for the job. These actions not only harm the game—
There's always going to be people that are really toxic, and obviously that's not cool and that's not fair, especially when they're doing death threats. Like, that's garbage behavior. But to actively ignore the hundreds of voices that give valid feedback, that says more than anything.
And the company behind it, but also damage the studio's reputation. Anyway, we shouldn't be silencing ourselves or others for exposing problems and voicing thoughts on it. Being afraid to speak up and let criticisms be known only shows you're willing to risk keeping problems in order to protect feelings or your own.
It is keeping the status quo. That's the thing. People are trying to keep the status quo, and in my opinion, it can't get any worse than it is. I mean, they're drip feeding content, and it's not even content. It's literally regurgitated stuff. You're just getting, if they bring anything, it's just maps made by the community, and then a bunch of store updates. That's it. That's all that Destiny. Wow. That's all Halo Infinite is store updates. Oh, we have this new thing coming up. Most of the content is in the store. Wow. Isn't that great, guys? You really wanted updates, didn't you? You want a lot of new stuff? You got store stuff. Now give me your money.
Image. Sure, keeping your mouth shut might help you look like a good guy and keep your relationship with certain people intact, but that shouldn't be priority when something you love is being harmed. This goes for
That's the problem. There's a war going on in the community. There's the people that are finally tired, and there's the people that are still trying to fondle the balls of 343. And it is baffling to me. Like, I'm always the be brutally honest. Screw who sucking up to whoever. Let's get fixed, because if they listen, it's only a plus for everyone.
Everybody too, but especially those with influence.
Yeah.
One last post worth mentioning, which attracted a ton of attention, was one from Grums, also known as Mark Kern.
All right, official Twitter, Mark Kern, CEO and designer, former T-lead of OG World of Warcraft producer, Diablo 2. So I've heard a lot about this guy. I've seen some people like mock him and stuff, but I've never actually knew who he was. So he's an actual team lead. Like, he actually is a producer. So that's kind of big.
He's a former video game executive who had major roles in developing World of Warcraft, Diablo 2, and StarCraft. He's also served as a producer in the past too. Haley's post had really blown up, catching Grums' attention, and after seeing the comments from the producer at 343, he decided to share his own thoughts on the matter. The producer for Halo went viral with this tweet. I've seen this sort of crisis of conscience before. A lead I worked with one day felt video games did more harm than good in terms of addiction. Like any pleasurable activity, you can overdo it, even eating. I think you have to step back and realize games do far more good than harm. I've had so many people message me and let me know that World of Warcraft or Diablo saved their lives, rescued them from depression, or helped them find their forever love. But the harm that this producer mentions here is not valid. There have been countless studies that show that games do not correlate with gun violence.
Exactly. And there it is. Not just from my mouth, from an actual game producer or team lead. Someone who's actually worked in the industry. There's no correlation. Correlation, I mean, there may be some correlation, but correlation does not equal causation. That's one of the things you learn in research is correlation does not equal causation.
Another great post which offers valuable insight that many could benefit from. The Halo producer may not have explicitly said, I struggled with Halo because guns harm people in real life, but he alludes to it. Why else would he be uncomfortable with guns if not because of the horrific acts involving them that occur?
And that, again, you have every right to have that feeling, but if you are struggling with those morals, you should not be in a position where you cannot be struggling with those morals. You are making guns. They shoot. They go pew, pew, pow. You are. And what's even funnier is that you are still killing humans. Like, what do you think Halo Infinite multiplayer is? You're killing other Spartans. You're using guns to shoot and kill other human beings.
In real life. It's the association with those.
Now, does that mean we're going to go we're all superhuman Spartans and we're going to go fight each other out in the backyard? No, maybe with Nerf guns.
Acts that made him struggle on Halo, clearly. However, someone in that position should be able to separate fiction from reality.
Absolutely.
I just think that people who have a job in game development shouldn't need to be reminded that they're working on a video game. Something that's almost...
Oh, dude, and there we are, the OG shotgun. Man, that is a shotgun. That is not the Abomination Bulldog. That right there. Ugh. Imagine if we got a new iteration Halo Infinite and it actually looked like it shot and sounded like the real shotgun.
almost always supposed to be an escape
I miss
from
the baby.
reality.
This
Looking
makes me
back
want to
at
go.
what this
This makes me want to go back to Halo 3. Sorry, I'm interrupting, but it makes me want to go back and play Halo 3.
Halo producer said, it's revealing yet another big problem in 343's management. Again, don't focus on the person himself, but his ideology and role at 343. He's a producer,
Yeah.
which is an executive position that involves collaborating closely with designers and the publisher to reach agreements on developmental changes.
Again, this person who's struggling with their morals should not be leading anything in Halo. This is why Halo is in such a state, because you have people like this in control of power and choices.
This role primarily focuses on the business aspects of production rather than the creative aspects. Furthermore, a producer is responsible for overseeing the employees involved in creating the games and ensuring that the project's vision is achieved within the allocated budget. While we don't know his specific responsibilities at 343, his role is definitely significant. So there's this guy who doesn't like guns or how they're portrayed in video games, yet he's a producer on a shooter game. Okay, I mean, I understand where he's coming from with the uncomfortable feelings surrounding the glorifications or fantasies of modern guns. I think it's very reasonable to feel this way, considering that guns are a sensitive topic due to the amount of gun violence in the last decade. It's possible that this person has been personally affected by it too, but any mentally healthy individual should be able to differentiate
The teabag.
between-
Hey, you can't teabag. That's assault or rape or whatever people are BSing nowadays. You can't teabag. They didn't consent to that. God, I hate modern gamers.
Fiction and reality. Halo isn't nearly as realistic as some other games, like the ones he mentioned, yet he still struggled with it. Halo has historically had marginally realistic weapons.
Yeah, I mean, they had some great guns. I miss the OG shotgun, though.
But were those pushing it too? Maybe he was just struggling in Halo Infinite because they took a more realistic approach with the guns.
The armory.
Infinite has the most
the
visceral
armory,
feeling
filled with
guns out of
garbage.
all the Halo games. All the UNSC weapons were given official model names, such as the Mark 50
Garbage.
Sidekick, the VK-78
It's a new gun. I don't care.
Commando Rifle, the CQS
Garbage.
48 Bulldog, and the M390.
I would rather have the original, not the Bandit. I'd rather have the original Mark's rifle.
2 Bandit. I mean, all of this just seems unnecessarily realistic, but the game is centered around Spartans and the UNSC, right? It's not like it's a Halo game which is heavily based in science fiction. What about all the dark themes and events that are present in the Halo games? They're mature content too, but
No. You're right. Those are mature, but those are in the old series, which are actually mature games. This is rated T for everyone because not T for everyone, rated for teen for yeah, whatever. I mean, you don't have those dark themes.
That's perfectly fine, huh? Well, actually, the games aren't considered mature now. They're rated T for teen. Interesting how that happened.
Yeah,
Maybe
imagine that.
rambling a bit, but while Halo does technically glorify guns, like with how cool and fun some weapons are, it definitely doesn't glorify them in the way that this person
No.
makes it seem. If you genuinely
And that's the thing about Halo. Halo has never been about the general violence and outside of the fact that there's an alien species that's trying to cause human extinction, or the Forerunners and the Rings trying to wipe out all life in the galaxy. Like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to say that's a stretch to say that that would be something that would happen in reality. I don't know. Like, maybe we should all start fearing rings. Like, I might have PTSD if I see someone hold up a ring. Like, oh God, there goes the universe. We're all fudged.
feel that way and are so
I played a video game and I know rings are dangerous. It's the threat to all life in existence. That in Lord of the Rings, you should also fear rings because of Lord of the Rings.
comfortable with it that you struggle with developing Halo, then maybe you shouldn't be in that position. As someone who dictates what elements make the final cut of a game and manages those who work on it, there's a high likelihood that aspects of the game will change due to that discomfort with guns,
Yep.
even
And
if
that's-
subtly.
that's
But
exactly what I was
assuming
saying.
This person's role covers those areas of development. Even if it doesn't, his attitude and mindset will impact Halo's development in one way.
It will still impact the team. His general morals will impact the team. It will push people in certain directions, or it may halt creative designs because he doesn't like that. We don't know. Again, this is all based on assumptions. But again, someone who has power, who does not like or is struggling with some morality on first-person shooter games, should not be overseeing a first-person shooter game.
One way or another. For a franchise that's been continually declining in its quality, identity, and popularity.
That's like, for instance, in America, that's like saying someone who doesn't like politics shouldn't be running for the president of the United States. It's like, oh, you have an issue with politics. You don't like politics. Then why are you leading the nation? Or why are you trying to lead the nation?
We really don't need a producer who's afraid of what's in Halo. It's hard to say.
That player count is about right.
Continually declining in its quality, identity, and popularity.
That's about right. Like, honestly, it's hovering about 1,000 players, or even sometimes a little bit more. It is pretty low. And I know that there's the argument, well, it's not on Xbox. Where are the Xbox numbers? Because I guarantee it's not that high either. Like, let's be honest. There's a reason why Xbox isn't promoting Halo Infinite constantly. Why Halo is no longer the poster child. There's a reason why we haven't heard anything about Halo. Hell, we haven't even seen like their seasonal stuff on any of the EA, or not EA, but like the Game Awards or anything like that. There's been nothing. It has been silent. It's because Halo Infinite is an abomination that even Microsoft realizes is an abomination. And so they'd rather just keep it hush hush. We'll leave a couple little trailers here and there. But outside of that, you just stay in your corner until we get something that we can be proud of. Because, son, you're not it. You're not winning, son.
We really don't need a producer who's afraid of what's in Halo. It's harsh to say, but it is the truth.
True.
Halo needs people who are genuine.
We need Halo with balls. And I don't mean that physically. I mean, we need people who have the cojones to make a rated mature game that goes all balls to the walls. Glory. Give us back the story we crave. Stop with this romantic BS we try to do with AIs. Let's just get to the violence against aliens. Let's get this cool story. There is so much content that is not been explored. The Forerunners, the precursors. There is so much that could be explored. You killed off the freaking didact and then brought him back off screen on a freaking book, and you could have literally just made him in the game as one of the solid villains of Halo history, and we just kicked him off the freaking bridge, and then he gets like a cool book. Like, the hell, man.
Genuinely passionate about it, working on it. People who love what's in it, not
exactly.
fear it. I can't help but feel for all the outstandingly talented people who are truly passionate about Halo to the core, who want.
I imagine there's people that really do like Halo that work at 343. And it's unfortunate because you got to know that some of their creativity is being halted because of these people who are in control of leadership.
To work on it, but can't because 343 are instead hiring people who have little passion for the franchise.
True.
People who share similar beliefs and ideologies, or people who are just unfit for the job.
I think if you're trying to listen, I'm not like the conspiracy hat, but I'm saying if they are trying to do check marks, like we have our Asian, we have our African American person. Like, if they are trying to do that, they need to just throw that away and get people who just, are they passionate? Check. Do they love Halo? Check. Are they excited for the job? Check. Are they ready to make cool weapons and badass stories? Check. That should be the checkbox.
You could see why this is upsetting, right? The management at 343 really seem to not know how to pick the right people for the job. We've heard stories about 343's catastrophic leadership of the past, but is the current leadership actually better? Let's look back at Halo 4's development. In 2013,
I'm gonna hard take. I liked Halo 4 up till the ending, when they start getting really romantic, and they killed off the didact. After that, it was like, okay, that was a crappy ending. But the rest of Halo 4, I liked.
It was revealed that Frank O'Connor, the former franchise creative director, said in an interview, "We've had people who we hired who hated Halo because of X." Fast forward to Halo Infinite, almost 10 years
We've hired people who've hated Halo because of X. Well, that explains the abomination we got at the end of Halo 4, all of 5, and Infinite.
Years later, and we're virtually seeing a repeat. They hired someone who doesn't like an aspect of Halo, and he's a producer. Who knows what other kind of people they hired and are still hiring? It's not every day that a dev comes out and shares personal feelings like that, so who's to say that half the studio isn't full of people who dislike Halo or other aspects of it? All we know is what we've seen, off-putting game elements and lack of features, proof of 343 disrespecting and rejecting the...
I haven't played enough info to say. I think 343 had a tough job and was not set up to succeed. The relationship with Bungie was unnecessarily hostile and leadership did not have a clear vision. Halo 4 was a bit of a mess and put them on their back foot. Not a project I would have wanted to take on. And I think, like I said, I think Halo 4 was good until the end. Halo 5 was an abomination. You can't say that they didn't have time to make it. Halo 5 was the true vision of 343. They cannot blame Bungie for it. It is literally garbage. It's a dumpster fire. The multiplayer, if you love the multiplayer, that's great. You can, but literally, I could not play that abomination because they murdered the story. And if you said, "Oh well, people don't play Halo for the story," you are absolutely wrong. It is the coin on the other. It's two heads of the same coin. People love the multiplayer. People love the campaign. It's not like Call of Duty where some people like the campaign and some people like the multiplayer. It is people loved both sides. That was what made Halo Halo. Is you had an amazing story that you got pumped and then you went and kicked your friend's butt with the energy sword. Okay.
The original creators of Halo, and now a clear-cut confession confirming mismanagement. The ridiculousness never seems to end with this company. 343 is notorious for hiring incompetent and inappropriate people for the job, as was mentioned in my previous video where Haley talked about Alex Wakeford, Snickerdoodle, and Cowgirl.
There's so many things and stories that people don't know. Jamie Greismer, former Halo design, even recently said that 343's relationship with Bungie was necessarily hostile, which confirmed a lot of things I've been saying for a while. This hostility is also seen in how 343's community treats Halo fans. Just look at how Snickerdoodle have unfairly blocked hundreds of us from Halo and Halo support. It's only natural I'd hate a company that respects the people who made our games and its fans.
Already, I recommend checking it out.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, if there's hostility to Halo fans, then you are killing your own community. And I've already seen it. I've already seen the community tearing itself apart. Those that are ball fondlers for 343 and people who are just not even Bungie. Like Bungie's not in the picture anymore, but people that enjoyed the OG Halo. And what's sad is that even though Destiny has its ups and downs, people still stick with Destiny because it's Bungie. Because Bungie actually does. Even though they have a lot of turds come out, they do have some gold come out as well. Whereas 343 is yet to make any gold. It's been more turds. You might have like a cherry on top of the turd. Like, ooh, the foundation of it, Halo Infinite, so fun. But overall, it's a giant turd. And that's where we're at. 343 hasn't got an actual win. 4 is the closest thing that they've gotten to a win. 5 is Abomination. Halo Infinite, like I have zero confidence that they can make a good Halo. Zero. I mean, look at Halo Infinite's community. Has made majority, if not almost all of the multiplayer maps because the passion is in the community, not in the developers who have no idea what they're doing.
Don't just slide all this under the rug and dismiss it. People need to know this. It should be acknowledged and discussed within the community in a respectful manner.
True.
Not kept quiet. Halo will never get better if people continue to let this mishandling of the franchise fester. And once again, if you have influence over the community and over the decisions being made at 343 Industries and Microsoft, you have power. What you say and don't say matters. Use that influence to push for the changes you and others wish to see. Because at the end of the day, your voices are the ones that get heard. Many don't have that privilege.
And I think he's right. I'm going to end the video there. Check it out for yourself, but he's absolutely right. People that have influence obviously have more community, and especially in 343. Like, if you have that power, you need to be a positive influence for your game. And if you cannot do that, you cannot have the passion that encourages others to be passionate for a game, then you get what we got for Halo Infinite. I mean, look back when it came out. People are like, oh, look at it now. No, let's look how it was, and look how many years it's taken to get to where it's at now. And even where it's at now is the bare minimum of what other Halo games would start out with. And you can't be like, it has more maps than other games. It only has how many actual multiplayer maps that aren't creator made? Like, get out of here. Let's just get out of here. And even now, I've heard that the multiplayer matchmaking is also broken. Like, anyway, it's baffling me that there's such a small sect now. It's funny because it started out with so many people defending Halo Infinite and 343, and it is slowly shrinking. And I'm seeing an all-out war between the community now, and it is crazy. This has been a long video. I appreciate you guys. Again, I love Halo, but I really think 343 is a dumpster fire. I do not have any confidence in him. And we're going to continue to make another video to check out, see what the community is actually talking about. I think this is a good video, really fair, and kind of looked at both sides. When I say both sides, I don't know. He was respectful, I guess. Unless we have someone else input, and that's the problem here, is we're not getting 343 actual input in anything. And I think that the lack of communication from their side of things is kind of milking the conflict. The fact that they're silent and they're not acknowledging, like, hey, we done effed up. I think that is a key part. When you acknowledge that there's things that are wrong and we know it, we're trying to do better. We're trying to be better. We're here for, we are passionate about the game. Like, this is not the things that we are seeing from the developers. It is silence and generic postings, and that's it. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. Hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for more. As always, links will be down there for you. And until next time, game out. Huzzah.